The Supreme Court has agreed to consider the early listing of a series of petitions in relation to marital rape. A bench led by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud has said that it will try to find a slot between Constitution bench hearings. In 2022, the Supreme Court had issued an order to pause a trial involving a husband accused of raping his wife after the Karnataka High Court upheld the charges against him. Other than this case, two other petitions pertaining to the criminalisation of marital rape are also pending before the top court. Now, petitions challenging the Delhi High Court split verdict on the criminalisation of marital rape are also before the court. Remember, in the Delhi High Court case, a split verdict was passed in a batch of pleas challenging the validity of the exception to Section 375 IPC, which provides for the marital rape exception to husbands. Let me go across to Supreme Court Advocate Karuna Nundy, who has been representing petitioners in this case and has been associated with the case for a long time. Thank you, Ms. Nundy, for speaking to NDTV. The Supreme Court of India is poised to deliver a landmark judgment that may make it a crime for husbands to, rape their wives. We have all known the NFHS data that says that a significant number of women, married women, say that they do face sexual violence by their husbands, but our rape laws continue to exempt husbands from, from being seen as criminals. So tell us, how important is this decision by the CJI on the early listing of the matter, and what are your expectations?
Well, for better or worse, we can't predict that it's going to be a favorable decision at all, right? There's a lot of opposition. There's a lot of oppositions by so-called men's rights association, and the reason I say so-called, because there are men's rights associations that are in our favor. Forum for the Engagement of Men, that are saying that they want equality in their relationships. I can't say too much because I'm leading two of the petitions and have been for the last 7 years. Through the High Court and through 2 rounds of the High Court and, the Supreme Court so far. When we mentioned the matter, the court did say that this is a very important issue. And there were crucial constitutional questions that we had pointed out that the court will have to decide with regard to intimate partner violence and the intersection with privacy and the intersection with all of most of the fundamental rights, actually, right? If not all. Because marital rape affects every part of women's life, right? And unfortunately, the court has not had time so far. Various early hearing applications have been allowed, but the court has reassured us that it will certainly be listed shortly. So we are looking forward to that. Can't be taken for granted, but follow that process.
Ms. Nundy, in recent months, we did see that the court heard a batch of petitions that challenged the current marital rape exemption to the criminal offence of rape. So judgment expected to be handed down maybe in the coming months actually may bring India in line with almost 150 countries that have already criminalized marital rape across the world. We of course have this exception to Section 375 of the IPC. Why is it important for this exception to go? Because I know you've argued that this deals with consent, equality and autonomy, but why is it so important for this exception to go?
So essentially, and I'll keep it brief and I'll restrict it to what we have submitted before the court, because we can't have it on 2 fora, right? I'm submitting before the court, so that's my main fora. Here I'm kind of just telling you what is happening before the court. So look, the thing is that for a woman to have to leave her bodily integrity and her dignity at the door when she enters a marriage, if she's in a live-in relationship, for example, she can prosecute for rape. She can get the protections of immediate free medical care. She can get particular types of evidentiary processes that kick in immediately. That don't happen if the harm that she has suffered is not recognized as rape. So it's not just the principle of it. It's not just the fact that you can't, you can't say that your husband raped you. It's not that. It's the fact that if somebody, however violent it is, and forget the violence, however non-consensual it is, that it's not something that is a crime. So it's something that's explicitly not rape. Right. And our plea before the court is that this is a hangover from Victorian times and it's right to go.
Right. Ms. Nundy, we also saw the split verdict in the Delhi High Court in the same matter that showed that there are divisions even among judges on this. In fact, in the 80s, we remember how the court had actually said that introduction of constitutional law in homes is like introducing a bull in China's shop, and it could, ruthlessly destroy marriages. How does one convince society, particularly women, that domestic spheres cannot be, shielded from laws which are made to protect our rights?
So, Ms. Venugopal, this is no longer true. You're not allowed to slap your wife in the bedroom. You're not allowed to kill your wife in the bedroom. You're not allowed to molest your wife sexually in the bedroom. So why should you be permitted to rape her? It's as simple as that. But follow the court proceedings. We are making these arguments in court, and let's hope for the best.
Right. Ms. Nundy, there have also been voices that have spoken in favor of, criminalizing marital rape, and we saw Justice Verma committee famously recommended removing this exemption. And then we've also seen this Gujarat High Court judge who said that rape is rape even if it is perpetrated by the husband, and that I saw was also a step forward. But we've also seen the Supreme Court in September 2022, while hearing the case of pregnancy of a married woman and talking about forcible sex by husband, and even the court said that that should be considered as rape. So I'm asking you, how optimistic are you? Because there have been voices that have welcomed this removing exception also.
I am not a soothsayer. I think that we know that we have not just burnt the midnight oil, but burnt the midnight oil for close to a decade. And we believe that the Constitution is on our side, and let us see what the court decides.
Thank you, Ms. Nundy, for speaking to us.